Boom, baby. This is take two. The first take, knocked down my my drink bottle thing. The first take was a little bit on the meow, meow, meow. The second take, I'm gonna come at it a bit more energy. Watch this first.
Let me tell you something, right? Sometimes the worst thing that happen in your life will put you directly in the path of the best thing that will ever happen in your life. So don't forget.
Yesterday, we've been working on a project for the last 6 months. And yesterday, I opened the project up to keep, trying to deliver it by the end of this month. And my files disappeared. If you're a tech person, hit me up. Spent all day yesterday trying to understand what's going on and salvage the project, obviously. Massive client and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, we think of Thanos. Is it the Infinity Stones that he, puts the final one and boop, Spider-Man, Mr. Stark, as he disappears. This is what happened. Files are. Yesterday, I felt like I wanted to throw up. It was an interesting day. However, one thing that did come out of it, like this video, was a realignment in my brain. Like, why is this? I was a little bit melancholy, let me just say. I'm not going to try to pretend that I was Mr. Stoic Boy. Hannah can attest to. Anyway, but it did make me think, okay, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to change? And anyway, here we go. We haven't fixed the problem, by the way, so it's not like I've got a happy, this story sort of ends in a positive way. You can't use the words happy ending anymore. That's, anyway. Yeah, so it doesn't have a positive spin. I'm still in the throes of it, but anyway, away we go. At the end of this video, I've got a number of announcements that I'd like to make. One of them is the return of Pelle Viola. Super exciting to share more about this. Also, the return of the OT Traveler set. Super excited, plus the Discovery series that's coming out. We also have the KM Fragrance Tour, which is on the rise. Well, actually not on the rise, in September. What I mean by on the rise, we're nearly hitting our number. All right, so I'm going to tell you a few more things. If you've got any questions, it would be good for you to reach out. And then the last part is the exciting, somebody is going to win a Dolce Milano, which is pretty cool. Anywhere around the world. Okay. Now, for those who may not know, NFC has celebrated 5 years. This happened on the 5th of February. As a result, I put out to everybody, give me some of the things that I've recommended to you that you've gone and tested and jumped in and has really hit the mark. This has been so awesome for me. It's like going down memory lane. Because this is what I do. All right, so let me quantify. Before I was just a perfume lover. I still am a perfume lover, but I was just buying for myself. Now, NFC, the channel, is a hungry monster. And so I'm always looking for new things and expanding my library more than an average person would need to. And I'm going to put it out there, right? To have what I have in amongst here is, it's, if it was for me personally, it's a touch of madness. But this is my currency on the channel, so I got to continue to explore and expand anyway. What's been great though is listening to or reading your comments. Where have you come back, or what sort of drew you to the channel? What drew you to the intrigue of things that I've shared, and then you've gone out and bought. So I've got another list of awesome fragrances that you guys have put forward that I'm going to put back on your radar. The first thing, and I'm going to loop back on this because a lot of people are talking about Nasomatto, and I'm so proud that I have been the guy who put this on your radar technically. And the two that I want to put forward to you today, last week I talked about Nasomatto and Norte Parisi. Today I'm going to bring it back to Nasomatto. The two that I think everybody needs to explore and test out is Duro, and this is now more masculine leaning, and then Narcotic V, this is more feminine leaning. This as a power couple is unstoppable. You guys would be like, forget about it. There is a, these are sexually charged. That's the intent behind them. Look at this production that I did here on Duro, and why was it called Duro? What's some of Duro means hard in Italian, and so what does that mean? You can sort of connect the dots. Narcotic V, for me, I connected this to Venus, and V meaning Venus. It was originally called Narcotic Venus. And so who is Venus and the goddess of beauty and all this sort of stuff. Both of these fragrances are just... Now, one thing that you need to be aware of, and some people have put these in the comments that have not gone down the path with Nasomattos, and that is that these are not massive room fillers. They're not designed to be this, you know, like punch through a wall and all the rest of it. For me, I get long staying power on them. Duro lasts 12 plus hours on me without a problem. I even did a test, and I think it's this video here. I went to Sydney, I wore it for the day, and you can watch that video and get my, you know, blow by blow scenario, and see the longevity of this fragrance. So, and this, I've mentioned it like a million times. This is the most favorite fragrance that Sandra owns that I love when she wears. For me, this is the ultimate in feminine beauty, power, splendor, femininity, all of those beautiful things, sexual power. I know that some men love to wear it. This man does not. This is the fragrance that I assigned to my wife, and I love, love, love it. And I would recommend it to you. A whole bunch of videos there. Alessandro Gualtieri is the guy, and these are the things that you put forward to me. Before I tell you the next fragrance, let me tell you a little story. And the story is linked to this, that criticism is easy, creativity is hard, doing is hard. So I went rock climbing. This is when rock climbing was a fad back in Australia, probably about 10 years ago. Indoor rock climbing, you know, everybody was doing it. And I went with a very close friend of mine. He was like harnessing me, what's the word? He was sort of keeping me safe, climbing the wall. And we were climbing a fairly hard for us. And I came to a moment in time where I literally had to sort of leap and grab a particular sort of hold. I couldn't do it. And I'm trying. I hadn't sort of, because if you, for those who've done rock climbing, if you've failed, you fall backwards and you can't grab the wall again, and your partner has to lower you down. So I hadn't quite done that yet, so I'm still trying. And he kept encouraging me and saying, just reach up. Just reach up, just push your legs, use your legs, reach up, just grab it, it's right there, just what are you doing? Just grab it. And I'm like, this guy. And I remember at one stage, I got so frustrated, I said, clearly I don't understand what you're saying. And I let go of the wall. I said, show me what you mean. And so he let me down, and he's like, wow, you're so, it's like, it's so easy, bro. He harnessed up, and away he went. Now, one thing that he didn't realize is you expended a lot of energy getting to that moment in time. So he had already now somewhat fatigued as he got to that moment. And when he got there, I already knew what was going to happen. And so I said to him, all right, now show me how you reach up to it. I was putting the knife in and doing a little twist. And he's like, he's sort of studying it, and he was hesitating. And I'm like, what, just show me what you're doing. Show me how to do it. And I kept badgering him, you know, I was doing it on purpose, obviously. And he's literally studying, and he's trying to sort of put in his position to push up and do the things that he said that he was, you know, that I should be doing. And I was relentless. I kept badgering because I wanted him to see that what looks easy, just reach up and grab it, is actually very hard, and you require a lot of energy to actually do it. The ending on that story is that he let go of the wall, and he's like, yeah, it's pretty hard. I'm like, yeah, bro, it's pretty hard. I told you it was pretty hard. I mean, I wasn't goofing around. So this leads me to George Zaharoff. He gets a lot of heat. I've sometimes read some comments, and I'm like, whoa, that is just brutal. I mean, and I don't quite understand it. And the bottom line is, and I'm going to tell you, my vote is with George Zaharoff. I think George does an awesome job. Is he for everybody? No. But so is so many other fragrances and so many other brands. Is it for everybody? No. Some things are good, some things are bad. So if you don't like what he does, cool. There's a million other fragrances. Go to Alessandro. He's pretty cool. He'll do something, you know, he'll help you out. But I like George Zaharoff's work. I discovered him years ago in the Oligarch store. Kevin put me onto it. That original signature poem. I really enjoyed it. I thought there was something, yes, it was, I guess, familiar, you know, that sharp barbershop gentleman scent. Since then, George has expanded into so many different directions. There is something for everybody. And I want to put this one on your schedule. And Elias, this is a shout out to you, my brother. So this is the signature rosé. And I think personally, George took a massive gamble when he first launched this, because up until then he had done signature Porom, then he had done two more, Noir and Pop. Ooh, forgot. Boom. Royale. So Noir and Royale, both signature, just with a slight twist. And all of a sudden, he now came out with an incense rose. And at that time, I'm going to say his core customers were all men. So all of a sudden, to have introduced a rose that is very distinct and very pronounced, whoa. And I know the actual direct example was a very close friend of mine who liked the Zaharoffs. He said to me, I don't know about rosé. And I'm like, just spray it. And it was like I was telling him to smear some weird stuff on him. I'm like, just spray it, man. Spray it. If you don't like it, just wash it off. Long story to that is that he did buy the bottle. So if you haven't experienced the Zaharoff, if you've been hesitating, rosé. I would go in with signature rosé. It's a beautiful incense rose note that's in there. It's beautifully blended. It is masculine leaning. A woman can wear it. I've had a number of people reach out to me saying that the work that I've done with George, that they've actually gone out and explored the Zaharoff. It's a fantastic house with lots of different things. As you can see, this is the new bottle. I donated my rosé to Hannah. It's actually signed by George. She has that. Why? Because I'm a good guy. I always say to Hannah, whenever I do something nice, I always say I'm trying to win the best boss award for the year. So anyway, so if you haven't experienced Zaharoff, I would recommend them to you. I'm going to tell you two things. One, there is this awesome passport. It is connected to NFC. These are 5 fragrances that I selected. These are hand selected by me. George said the entire library is yours to pick. You choose 5. The ones that I selected in here is Rosé, this one here. Also black, Halfeti Black Rose, which is another, anyway, yeah, I won't go too deep. Then there is the Extreme Porom, which is now a beautiful extension on the original. Bloom, which is spectacular as a jasmine fragrance. And then finally Arum, which is a honey-scented gourmand fragrance, which is like nothing else. Jump on the Zaharoff website, order that. The video is coming out because I'm doing a discovery series. I did put a date against that. Let me just see. Bing, bing, boom, 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 boom. I'll put it here. Bop. So if you go ahead and purchase that, I am doing a discovery series with these Zaharoffs, and I'll go through them with you guys, and you guys can understand them in more detail. One thing that I do want to point out, and again, all kudos to Elias, there are touches in Zaharoff fragrances that it just shows the love and care that he has for his brand and the love and care that he has for his brand for you. So inside the actual cap, and here's a photo, and it took a little bit to get this photo, is the Zaharoff logo. Now, why would you need to do that? And actually, Elias asked this question. George came to visit us here in Australia, and he's like, and the response is because you care about your brand. Does everybody see that little logo inside the cap? I mean, you know it's a Zaharoff cap, you know, with the Z and the actual shape of it. But it's just that extra bit of love and care that goes into it. I can tell you my personal story. So we created the OT Traveler, and I'll tell you more about that shortly. The budget blew out on this thing because we wanted something that was unique and this, that, and the other, all these different options. Initially, this was not going to be stamped on, so this is now an actual embossed. It was meant to be just lasered in the end. We saw the embossed and we were like, okay, let's pay more for this, let's pay. So the budget on this blew out, but we always knew that the cost, the retail price for you guys was always going to stay the same. So yeah, cost was going up, but we knew that this was the price that needed to be sold at because we want this to be an accessible item for you guys. The final part to this was Emily, which is Kevin's wife. She saw this and initially it had no logo on it. And she said, that's such a pretty thing. You really should put a logo on that. And I remember at the time, Kevin and I were like, we've already spent more money on this thing than we need to. In the end, we opted for that. And that's not because we wanted for you to make sure that you knew what this was. We love our brand. And I understand why he put that logo on the inside of the cap. It's just that extra bit of care. And so this is that extra bit of care, the desire for you guys to have the best possible experience when it comes to the tactileness of the brand. Anyway, Zaharoff, you gets my vote. Boom. All right, let me keep moving. Doing well. I was going to share this comment later on, but I'll share it now. So this comment came through from Vera. Vera, you're wonderful. This is a wonderful young lady based in Singapore. She's one of the OGs of the channel. Very early on, and this is her comment, and I'm going to show it to you so you can see what she's sharing. Very early on, when I first started NFC, I was in a very difficult situation in that, of course, I want the channel to be successful, but I also am very passionate about a certain type of fragrance, which is niche perfumery. Now, the reality is that niche perfumery, now it's actually grown, but when I first started 5 years ago, designers and all that sort of stuff was definitely leading the charge. Now people are a lot more aware and a lot more astute as to all things niche, like Alessandro Gualtieri, and he is the story. So my sister was, and nothing against her advice at the time, she was saying to me very, very strongly, do not do these fragrances. Do not do reviews. Nobody is ever going to watch this. It's too artistic. It's too avant-garde. It's not something that people will want to look for. She suggested some other brands. I won't name them, good brands, but they're a lot more mainstream. And I resisted. I'm like, no. But what was happening is I wasn't getting any views, or very little views, I should say. I mean, there was some people engaging, but it was very small. And she was advising me. She was my counselor at the start, and she kept saying, you're making a massive mistake. You're talking about brands, Meo Fusciuni, and this leads into the next brand that I want to talk to you about. Talking about brands that nobody knows about, so nobody's looking for you, and nobody's watching this stuff. And I remember one day, I finally, because I released a video that I put so much work in, 15 views, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And finally, I had a meeting, as I said, she was advising me, I had a meeting with her, and I said, you win. What do you want me to do? Tell me the brands, and I will do those brands. So she started naming these brands, and she brought them out because these are brands that she had. And so I grabbed it, and I remember I grabbed one of them. Again, it's a good brand. I sprayed it, and I remember smelling it, and I'm like, I don't feel as passionate about that as I do about, Duro and stuff. And so I said, okay, no worries. And I started to say what I was getting. And before I even finished, she said, no, stop. And I'm like, no. I said, I'll do this. I will do this. I'm going to do this. She goes, no. She goes, I can see it in your eyes. It's like you've become soulless. You don't. She goes, do what you love. She's like, no one's going to watch it. No one's going to watch it. But I can see it. You talking about something that you're not genuinely in love with. It's gonna scream through the screen. So going back to Vera's comment, here it is again, that I'm glad that I stuck to my guns. I'm glad that in the end, I let my heart guide me as opposed to, views and subscribers and that I sort of pushed it aside, let it take care of itself, just follow where I really feel strongly about. Which leads me to Meo Fusciuni. Now, Meo, when I first started to talk about him and share stuff, watch this episode. This still has really low views. So this is me going to see Meo. At the time, he was living in a place called Bap, here. I can't believe I forgot. Termi. Boom. Oh, I can't believe I forgot. Salsa Maggiore. Boom. Salsa Maggiore? Anyway. Here. And it was my trepidation of going to see someone that I admired so highly. And there's an aura around Meo that could seem somewhat intimidating. And, this is a highly creative person. He's the most glorious man, the most beautiful human you're likely to meet. His partner, Federica, just, I tell you, again, if you haven't seen this video, please watch it. It shows you can see my nerves on this train. You can see that first encounter, none of it was staged. Literally, I said to Sandra, roll camera, what we get is what we get, and let's see what happens. So everything you see as it rolls out is what was actually happening. There was no like, all right, I'm gonna come out of here, you're gonna do that. And it was just, things happened. But what a glorious experience. Now, more and more, Meo Fusciuni is becoming a force of nature. I mean, he recently did a film. There was a documentary team that followed him and did a film. I can't wait to see it. It hasn't come out here in Australia yet. 2 fragrances that I feel has become his breakthrough, even though when Sogni first came out, he was already like 10 deep in the collection. So if you're new to Meo Fusciuni, I always refer to people to go to Sogni first. This is a beautiful appreciation of his skill and art. It's his love affair and his romance of Japan and his memory of Japan. Those who've traveled to Japan many times have said that this actually also transports them. It transports me. Watch this particular video. I actually went to his temple. This is in Salsa Maggiore Terme. And I experienced it for the first time, and I've been to Japan a few times, and I was taken to a location, I was taken to a moment in time as I experienced this fragrance. I strongly recommend it. It is glorious. It dries down to like a sandalwood, woody sort of esque, but aromatic, and where it starts, how it moves is divine. The other one that I strongly recommend to you is Viole Nere. This is my soul fragrance. If I could only take so many fragrances onto a deserted island, Viole Nere would be one of those. It did win the Art and Academia Award, a big deal that's happening in Italy, or a national award that happens. It did win that as the best for 2024, if I'm not mistaken. 2024. Gorgeous. Watch this production too. I had the opportunity to experience it first with Meo before he released it to the world, and we had a long conversation, and it's a very intimate moment. Just so you know, I've become very, very, very good friends with Meo and Federica. They agreed to join us, and this is a very personal man, a very private man. He did agree to the 2025 Italy tour. We actually went to his new location, which is in Sarzana in Liguria, down by the Italian Riviera. For me, this was like the ultimate experience. He was so generous with his time. The guests that joined us on this experience was, for me, I mean, like, I said to them when we rolled up, I said to them, imagine the chance to meet, Van Gogh, back in the day, and experience him or listen to him as he shares his art and how he comes to creating his art. And I mean, that would be like, that would just be incredible. So for me, Meo is a big deal, and I'm glad that I took, I followed my heart and just did something that was not the trend at the time, but it is now, which is great. I'm gonna stop and then I'm gonna reboot on the last ones. And back, okay. So the next one, and the funny thing is, this next brand, which is Fuea, I discovered them in Australia, but elaborated on them in a much deeper way when I went to Milan. Have a look at this particular production. Whoa, Richie knows. This particular production where, running around Milan, it was so much fun. And the interesting thing is this. When I talk about this brand, I get a lot of heat from some people. And by heat, I mean like just almost venomous, a lot of dislike, you know what I mean? Just really like intense comments, that it's a trash brand. Have a look at this. So this is part of my perfume bar. This is the collection I have so far. Look at these boxes. These are others that I have in the background. I like this brand. And let me just say, these are all bought by me. I've tried multiple times to reach out to Julian Badel, who is he's an Argentinian, owns the brand. And I don't know whether he doesn't like me or he doesn't like influencers, or I don't know what it is. The people know me, so just to give you an idea, when I go into the boutique in Milan, they're like, oh, Marcelo, good to see you, bibaboop. So they've seen the content. But for some reason, Julian, doesn't want to reach out, which is cool. It is what it is. But I like this brand. I like the way Julian does the fragrances. I love the work that he puts into it. If you're new to Fuella, I would recommend to you Juan Manuel, and this is one that was also put forward by a comment that came through. Have a look at this production here. This is Michael Marzano first recommended this particular fragrance to me. Actually, all credit to Michael. He actually put me onto this brand years ago. And if you want to know if you like rose-scented fragrances or rose-centric fragrances, have a look at this production here where I elaborate deeper on the note, on the rose note, and I definitely talk about Juan Manuel. Gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. If you love rose, bright, airy, effervescent, energetic, great. This is a fragrance that I use. All right, so this is not. Yes, those kind of notes, I guess, play really well as a female fragrance or a fragrance for a woman, but for a man, this is glorious. You stand out. So yeah, Fuella, another brand that I have a lot of love and respect for, and one that obviously you guys have put to me as one that I've put to you. All right, the next one that the final one that I want to talk about is Pierre Guillaume. And before I go there, there's a very complex story, which one day I may tell. But let me loop back on this.
Let me tell you something, right? Sometimes the worst thing that happen in your life will put you directly in the path of the best thing that will ever happen in your life. So don't forget that.
In 2024, we did a France fragrance tour, and I had been talking in the lead up to it. I discovered Pierre Guillaume like 6-8 months prior at Aix-en-Provence, and Pierre agreed to be on the tour. We started to promote the tour, and he was part of it, yada yada, and then we had a massive complication. I won't go into it, other than he was no longer part of the tour. And we had already sold seats, so the people who joined us on the tour, they were fully aware of what happened. We sent them an email saying some things have changed. But prior to that email, there was a lot of like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do now? We were freaking out, what are we gonna do? And it was by chance that my daughter-in-law said to me, where are you guys again? Because she, you know, as we were telling, I guess, elaborating on this story with the family, she said, where are you guys going? Grasse. Oh, you know, the stuff far from Monte Carlo. And I remember at the time, I'm like, you're not helping. and very sort of casually, she said, Monaco's beautiful. You guys should go to Monaco instead. And then she goes, oh, look at this hotel. Look at this hotel. This is a beautiful hotel. It's called Hermitage Hotel. We should go there because they even have the amenities in the bathroom, Acqua di Parma. That'd be great for a perfume tour. And I remember at the time, I'm like, this is not helping, you know, like, however, the next day or that evening, that night, whatever, I thought to myself, Paris, Monte Carlo. They were in Monte Carlo, yeah? And then, bada boom, this happened. And we got to be with Jean-Luc at Paris, and it just was like, let me say one more. The next step to this was that he had just left Santa Maria Novella like 3 weeks prior. This was his first engagement back in his family's brand, which is Paris Monte Carlo. And we were in the Monaco Yacht Club. I mean, I remember walking in with the group, our tour group, and the person at the front desk is like, who are you? This is not for tourists, sort of thing. And then out comes Gianluca and welcome. Oh, you're with Gianluca, of course, no, by all means. It was like a bucket list dream, you know, what's the best scenario possible? Bap, we got this. So what became, and I'm looping back to the Pierre Guillaume experience, what became a very stressful time for us, because now all of a sudden this in mid-flight changed, and we had to quickly you know, sidestep and adapt and find a solution that was going to be as exciting as, and yeah, anyway, I can share this because this was all part of that. We shared this with the people on the tour. We were going to go to so if you've watched this particular episode with myself and Pierre, we were going to go to Clermont-Ferrand and spend time and do all that. It didn't eventuate, and but in the end, what did eventuate, forget about it. It was incredible. Having said all that, a lot of people have put forward that Pierre Guillaume was a integral that I put forward Pierre Guillaume as a brand. His fragrances are fantastic. These fragrances are extraordinary. His fragrances collection is very impressive. He's a skilled artisan at what he does. One that I fell in love with, and this is one that I want to put forward to you guys, is Tonka Bodykon. I found it when I was in Paris. Here's the production if you want to see. This was like an extension of the Milan boutique up, and this is the Paris boutique up. And I remember going in, and all that you see in this particular part of the episode, none of it was, I'd literally walked in, the guy's name is Julien. I said, do you mind if we film? Are you okay to be in the shot? And he's like, yeah, let's do this thing. And so everything you see it just happened in the moment. It's very ad-libbed. It was all happening in the moment. And Tonka Bodykon just knocked me out of the park. When I first sprayed it, I'm like, whoa, this is magic. I even had the privilege and opportunity to go, as I mentioned, to Clermont-Ferrand, and I had an awesome time with Pierre, and I made my own Tonka Bodykon. So if you watch that production, you can see me bringing this together. And, excuse me, this says, I haven't eaten, I'm a little bit hungry. It says The Apprentice, or by Marcelo, The Apprentice, and then signed by Pierre himself, which is a wonderful keepsake and it's a wonderful memento of that experience. If you haven't come across Pierre's work, I'd recommend it to you. There's a range of episodes that I've created. He's, as I said, he's an exceptional artist, and he does a great job with the work that he does. Boom, there it is. So 7 fragrances that you guys put to me, that I put to you, and ones that I put to you for those who haven't experienced it. How's that for a loop? This is the last week for the promo. I'm going to come back, because this is all connected to the promo, but I'm going to come back to that in just a second. First, I want to tell you about something super exciting and dear to my heart, which is the glorious Pelle Viola. Now, for those who may not know, launched our own brand, myself and Kevin, Olfactive Traveler. We are celebrating Italy in 3 different fragrances. This is the celebration of Florence. There is also Milan and Rome. Now, this one we knew was going to be a hot ticket item. There's a number of points in this particular fragrance which is it ticks those boxes. Firstly, we are using an iris that is exclusive to AFM. This iris is only grown on Iris Blue Farm, which is in Florence, or in close to Tuscany. And there is a small yield, meaning that that plot of land, once it delivers its yield, that's it for the year. There's no more. So we knew that we could only create 500 bottles. Everything has a certificate to say that it does come from the Iris Blue Farm, and every bottle is numbered. So that certificate will show you that your bottle is bottle X out of 500. This fragrance, so as I mentioned, we anticipated sales on it, and we had them flown over, ready for the launch. We sold out. We sold out just like faster than what I was hoping not to sell out. The continued flow is what I really wanted, but we sold out. Good news is all stock is now in Australia, so we have it all with us. And the launch, or the relaunch of Pelle Viola, the return of Pelle Viola, is happening on the 5th of March. If you want to know more about what Pelle Viola is, please sign up to the newsletter. Go to olfactivetraveler.com. Here's a website. I'll also put a link below. You can sign up to that newsletter. That'll give you more information about what Iris Blue is, what makes it a significant difference. So there are some countries in the world that we're not delivering to. It's too complicated. One is Spain. I'm sorry, the Spanish government it's super intense. And the other one is there's a lot of drama of getting stock into Israel. So this gentleman who, it took him a long time to get his stock. He finally got redirected to somewhere in Europe, I think it was. He finally got his stock. Nilton, I'm talking to you. He did give me permission to share this. He sent me a message, and I want to show it to you. Here it is. It just warmed my heart because the amount of time, energy, effort, the decision to actually include iris blue iris in the fragrance was a very conscious decision. We had the formula already finished. If you don't know the story, watch this particular production here. And yet we opted to really celebrate Florence and celebrate iris and celebrate the history of the Florentine iris. And it's made the difference. It's 100% made the difference. Again, I'm grateful to Nilton for sharing that view. So if you are interested in something that is unique, there is limited stock now. So whatever we have left, that's it. When it's gone, it's gone. We will do another harvest for 2026. Luca has not told us what the next yield capacity will be. We're hoping we can do another 500 bottles. But yeah, once this yield is gone, it's gone. So if you're interested in this, please sign up and join us when it goes live on the 5th of March. Boom. Now the next thing I'm doing too, this too is coming back alive, and that's the olfactive travel, the OT Traveler set. As I mentioned, we put a lot of love and care into this, and we tried to make it as unique. This is our discovery set. So where I guess other brands, do the small 5 mils or 2 mils, whatever they are. These are 8 mil sticks. It is designed as a traveler. I mean, we're a brand celebrating travel. It is a leatherette, so it's 100% leather. It is hand stitched. These are all decisions, that we made. It is embossed. So the idea is that you can use this as your travel companion. The 3 fragrances are in there. It gives you a chance to experience them. Now I'm going to be doing a discovery series. This is coming back live again also on the 5th of March. This was another item that sold out very, very quickly. I will be doing a discovery series on the 15th of March. There will be a promo link to it. All right, so I'll tell you more as we get into it. And it's for everybody who has purchased any olfactive traveler product, including the discovery set. So there'll be something there. I'll tell you more. So if you're interested in knowing more about olfactive traveler, knowing more about the brand, knowing more about the decisions that Kevin and I made, how they smell, I'll walk you through the scent profiles, then you can join me on the 15th of March. My recommendation is buy obviously the Traveler, and that way you can follow me in real time as we smell these fragrances together. Now the last part that I want to say regarding this is similar to Pelle Viola. We have limited number because the sticks in here are the 3 Italians, Rome, Milan, and Florence. And we are low on stock on this, all right? So what will happen is that the Pelle Viola stick won't be part of the set. There's something else we're working on. So the Traveler will continue to exist and continue to sort of celebrate the brand essentially. But if you want the 3 fragrances with Pelle Viola being one of them, then there is limited number on this. Again, go back, sign up to that newsletter, make sure that you have access to that, because once they're gone, or once the Pelle Viola in this set is gone, it's gone because again, we had to allocate the stock. Bob. Questions, ask me, I will answer. Itchy knows the whole process. All right. AM fragrance stores, let me tell you about this. So for those who may not know this conversation or what we're doing, about 4 years ago, Kevin and I set up a touring company. We do fragrance tours. We go behind the scenes. This is about slowing down. It's about meeting creators, similar to what I mentioned about the Meo Fusciuni and Jean-Luc Paris and things of that nature. It's about traveling, and it's about experiencing nice things. We eat at Michelin recommended restaurants. We stay in 4-star properties. We're staying at the Royal Moujone. We've stayed here previously. It's a beautiful property. Lots of, it's just like you're in the middle of grass and you are surrounded by nature and everything else. It's just gorgeous. This year, it's a 3.5-day tour. We are focusing on 3 key brands: Soradora, Hubigant, and Balshod. I've been in meetings with both Duro and Bodykon. We've got some exciting things to share with you. I'm waiting for, we've put forward some suggestions. I'm waiting for them to tick those boxes clearly so that I can then share it with you guys. But let me just say, this is more, yes, we will experience the brands with the creators. Yes, we will have Jean-Luc Paris as part of the Bodykon experience, but I'm always about, you know, the things that you just can't do, you know. We want to create things that are unique, bespoke, exclusive, and so this is what I work with when I work with the brands. The great thing is that the Balshod, this is now landed. So if you want to know what we're going to be doing with Balshod, we actually got an awesome day planned. And I'm going to tell you some more because I finished having a meeting with her and we've elaborated this whole day event. It's going to be off the hook. A small teaser, watch this production here, and you'll see that we will be in the floral farms in Grasse that belong to Robertet. These are private farms. And so we'll be able to, you know, see these florals in nature. Then we'll go back to Robertet and experience how they extract these florals. It's a full day event with both Balshod and Robertet, and we're also going to be, I'm going to do another production because she's now giving me permission to talk about something which is pretty cool. If you want to know more, we're nearly at the point of closing it off. So if you want to know more, if you want to know, I don't know, any questions you have, please reach out to me. I'm happy to answer those. Otherwise, jump on our website and you have the details there. Boom. All right, last one. And this is all linked to the promo that we've got running. Last week, these were the people who entered. This week, look at I love the growth in the number of people who are participating. This is awesome. All you got to do, 3 things, or actually you can do 1 thing, but if you want to get 3 entries into the competition, then these are the 3 things you should be doing. 1 is writing a comment in this MATÉ talk of fragrances that I've recommended to you that you've actually gone, wow, these are awesome. I'm using that now to share that with everybody else. To do a story on Instagram, make sure you tag me, and that way I can repost that. You'll get a 2nd entry. And the 3rd one is just follow OT Olfactive Traveler on Instagram. If you do all 3, you get 3 entries. Have a look at some of these people's wedges are bigger. Some people have only done 1, which is cool. But if you want to have more presence on the wheel with a higher chance to win this gorgeous Dolce Milano, and there's a really awesome story as to why I selected this as the fragrance, but I'll tell you more of that. Well, actually, I told it in this particular episode, but I can retell it again next week. Boom, bing, boom. That's it. If anyone knows anything about data and how to reverse Thanos's evaporating trick, yeah, reach out to me. It is just, you know, on that, the hard drive is being sent to the Netherlands. I'm hoping to recover some data and see if there's something there, but yeah. And if you're going to say to me, did you back up? I'm going to tell you no, and I don't want to hear that you should have backed up. I get it. Guess what's happening now? I've bought extra hard drives to back up. I get it. But in the 20-something years, this has never happened to me. It only takes once, right? Anyway, thank you, everyone. I'll see you guys all on the next MATÉ Talk.